All right, folks, I wanted to do a big favor for someone, and probably for some other folks who are wondering how to navigate the overall market by using this SPXA sentiment tool. It is a good tool to help depict overall market sentiment. Overall market sentiment meaning what the overall temperature in the market is. How are most investors or traders feeling about the overall market. So the overall market sentiment. And I like to use, and again, today is May the 22nd, 2023. It's about 10:26 a.m. And you can this tool actually you can check multiple uh, different I'm sorry, different levels. You can check the 200R, which is pretty much the 200 moving average. You can do the 50-day moving average. And I think it also gives you options for a couple other ones. I like to use the 200R because that's going to give me a bigger picture, or should I say a broader scope, and probably a more precise, a longer term picture of what the overall market sentiment is telling us by looking at it as it relates to the 200-day moving average. So here is the SPXA200R. And I like to throw on my chart when I use this, I like to throw in a 20 per moving average line, because that also acts as a gauge as to which direction overall sentiment is generally heading, because you can get a lot of mixed signals in here with a lot of different candles showing you a couple different things. So what I like to do is I like to first of all also look at a monthly chart, because the monthly chart takes out a lot of the short-term noise. And one thing I like to do, I like to look at history. So I will look at a longer term monthly chart, maybe about 20 years or more. Look at a longer term monthly chart, at least 10 plus years or more. And I like to see where we see an average amount of tops, which are almost the same, and the average amount of bottoms. So then I would draw a trend line. So it looks like to me, the highest you can get, first of all, is 100%. So what this tool shows you is the percentage of stocks that are trading above their 200-day moving average. That's what it's showing me. You can use actually you can use a 50R, which will show you the percentage of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average. I like to use the tool that shows the percentage of stocks trading above the 200-day moving average. So looking back, I would say start with 2009. You can see where we get up to almost 100%. So that is normally a major top. So when you get up to about 100%, you know you're almost at a major top. So when you get close to that level, okay, then you start looking for reversal patterns. Okay, you can look for reversal patterns within this tool and also reversal patterns within the overall market. Okay, so if you look back here to 2000 and from 2009 to 2011, we pretty much made it up to this 97 percentile level, and we stayed in that level for, let's draw this little slight trend line here, for the bulk of about a year. So we stayed up around the level for the bulk of about a year. Okay. Signs of a blip or a change in price and a change in its overall sentiment started to show here. We got a little blip down, and then we bounced right back up. The ultimate was right here. So in general, nothing's going to be 100% perfect to tell you exactly when you're going to see the major shift downward. But when you get up to around this 97 level, start looking for some change in overall market sentiment. Stand by 1 second, folks. had to take care of something real quick. But again, so the ultimate top is when you get up to around about anywhere between 95 to 95 to 98. I've never seen a level of 100. If you get a level of 100, that's extreme levels to the upside, which means you can definitely start to look for a reversal in price action or a reversal in the overall market sentiment. When this tool starts to reverse, then normally the overall market does the same. All right. So that's the first thing to look for. Look for a level, the ultimate level is right around between 95 and 97%. You get up between that level, between 95 and 97, and start to expect to see some type of market sentiment change. That's one key level to look for overbought markets. Now, again, this is not a tool that's going to tell you exactly. No, the markets are definitely reversing here. You have to also pay attention to what the overall indices are showing you too as well. You want to see both tools starting to coincide together. You want to see some pivot points within this tool and also looking at the longer term charts of the overall indices. All right, so that is the first thing to look for. Look for the ultimate top, which we got one back here in 2021. We got one, and the overall market sentiment started to shift to the downside. Now here recently, when we had this, got down to about almost zero, not quite zero, but it got down to about 10 to 15, and then we've seen a market shift. Okay, now we did not make it back up to this 97%, which some people probably were like, you know, oh, okay, well, let's see if we're gonna go back up to 97, if that's what it normally does. It doesn't always do that. So what you got to also do is look at some other pivot points in history. Look at some other pivot points in history, because if you notice, as soon as we got up to around 80, got the strong candle here and a big time reverse where the bears fought back and started to push the sentiment back down well before we got to 97. But if I was to draw a trend line from this level, this is around 77. So if I was to extend this trend line all the way back, it's a little quicker. Let me straighten that out. This is around 76. Looks like around 76. Let's try to make that as straight as possible. Extend that out. Oh, that's close enough. So now, so it's around 76. And if you look back in history, you'll see where there were some times where we got up to around that 76 level and we started to, right around that 76 level, we've seen some reversals in history. We've seen it right around here. This is about 2016. We see it here in 2017. We see it here, 2019. Got just above it just a little bit here, but came right back down. So I want to point it out to show you that we don't always have to go back up here to this 97%. But if you look at history, anywhere between 80 to 97, we normally see reversals. If you had a big time reversal from 97 or 95, and we start to move back up, I will always take a look and see what happens when we get around, let's just below this 80 level, around 75, 76 for a possible reversal, because that's what happened back in history. We got back up, you know, around that 76%, and overall sentiment changed again. It normally finds a way to shift again. Right here in 2011, when we gapped down, bulls pushed it back up, got to that 96%, I mean 76%, and came right back down. So that 76% is a key level to pay a close attention to, which is where we can see some type of overall market shift possibility. You got to look for follow through though. Right here in 2011. We got up to this level, came back down, but then we continue higher. So you have to look for follow through as well, because even though we made it to this level here, the moving average, look at the 20 moving average, it did not change. It continued to go up. So that was also indication that when we got to this level, even though we pulled back just a little bit, we got rejected when we got to this level a little bit, the moving average did not move. So that was another signal to me that, hey, this push up and then pull back is maybe just a signal. Maybe it's a signal that no, it was just a test. So we went up, tested this level, pushed back above it, came back down and tested again, but the moving average did not turn lower. Moving average continued to go higher, which is a signal to me that we're going to continue to go higher, more than likely. If you look at the here and now, we got a different outlook. When we pull back here down to October of last year, and we came back up, went above the moving average did not curl up with this overall sentiment. Moving average did not curl back up. Moving average continued to go downward or stay flat. So that also led me to believe that this punch through this moving average is probably just a fake out for the bulls, a way to trap the bulls at a certain area. And what did we do? Hit that 76% level, came right back down. And look, the moving average is still now the sentiment is overall the candlesticks above the 20 moving average, but the moving average has really not turned up. So it leads me to believe that we're going to continue to go down. Now, if you look below, look at some of my indicators that I also like to use on this particular chart and on all my charts that I use. For stochastics, look how it started to curl, which is also another signal that this is ready to reverse back down. Look at the wins percentage. Already coming back down after reaching overbought territory. Look at the CCI, like it's ready to cross with a sell signal. So hopefully that gives you a way to gauge. Like I said, nothing is perfect. That's why I like to use multiple tools in order to try to depict tops and bottoms versus just rely on one tool. You can't just rely on one tool to predict possible tops and bottoms. But if you use a multitude of tools, you can almost always see reversal points. As in here, when we got to this 97% level back in 2021, look what happened to the full stochastics. It started to turn lower as well. Look what happened to the wins percentage. It started to turn lower as well. Look what happened to CCI. We got the green line crossing below this yellow line, which is a sell signal. So you got all of this lining up, which helps me confirm that the overall sentiment is about to shift. And look what happened back in October. This is another key that you can see that the overall sentiment was changing again. So in October, when we got down to around these levels here, around at 17 or 15%, look where we were at. We were in the oversold. Hit oversold there, hit oversold here in the wins percentage. And look at the CCI, hit oversold, got across back above this lower line with the oscillators turning up. So that was all signals that we were possibly ready to try to advance higher in overall market sentiment, which is what happened from October until we got to about now. And you see everything starting to pivot lower. So hopefully this clarifies ways to pinpoint some tops and bottoms. Again, you use multiple indicators, folks, because one indicator is just not going to show you. It's not going to give you any huge confidence. Let's look back in 2020 when we hit that ultimate low and we started to reverse in overall sentiment. And then look at the oscillators. Hit oversold, touched almost oversold there, almost oversold here in CCI, but definitely oversold CCI, deep oversold. And then we started to bounce. So again, hopefully this helps you find some tops and bottoms. Again, the ultimate top in this particular tool is around 95 to 97. Normally we get to that level. Normally we start to see a major change. The higher we go, the more the more impactful the reversal will be. And the same thing on the downside. The lower we go, the more impactful the reverse will be, as we saw in 2020, as we saw in 2009, as we saw in 2011, as we saw in 2018, as we saw in 2022, and it looks like we're about to reverse here again. So we have to see how far this overall sentiment changes and goes lower. One thing I would say, don't lock in on this level here, because there is a level that's lower than that if you look at history. So use that as a gauge. We could get to this level and see what happens, but use it as a gauge, because there is a level that's lower than that, which is what I'm looking at, what I'm paying attention to now, which is where we could ultimately go. And that is the low that we've seen in 2009, down to as low as 0.1%. So do we head that low again? That's a possibility. So pay attention to this as we continue to go throughout the rest of this year, and pay attention to the moving average line and see when it starts to reverse and turn back up. All right, hopefully that helps out just a little bit. And if you need further clarification, got any more questions in reference to this, those who follow me on Rose's Discord, you know how to reach me. All right, catch you guys on the next video.